Hi guys and welcome back. This is Mike Remus at MH Tutorials, and today we're going to do a fun little project called the Green Android Guy or Android Puppet or whatever it is. You know who I mean. Okay, so we're going to start off by loading a reference image that I got off the web. It's pretty easy to find that and just type in Android and he'll show up in various shapes and sizes. So we're going to start off with that. We're going to go to our for view. Select front view, go to view, image plane, import image. I save that on my desktop. I call it Android. So here's it, and hit open. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to my perspective view, and I'm going to drag select that, hit R to scale it out, way up, hit W, and move it out a bit. Now, if you got a version of Maya prior to 2014, it's not so simple to just drag select this and move it out. You'll have to go into your attribute editor and have to change your translate values to move that. Okay. So now that we got that, we're going to start off in our polygons menu, and I'm going to start off by creating a polygon cylinder. So just click on that, drag it out in the grid, pull it up. I'm going to hit 5 for shaded mode so you can see it a bit better. And I'm going to increase the subdivisions quite a bit. So while I'm in object mode, you can see that by the green lines. I'm going to go to my polycylinder tab in the attribute editor, hit Control A to pull that up. And I'm going to increase subdivisions to 60. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to go to our front view. And we're going to start to position that and resize that a bit. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to hit 5 for shaded mode, and then I'm going to go up to this little box here, the X-ray mode, so I can look straight through it and see my original reference image. Okay, now I'm going to pull that down a bit, pull it over. I'm going to hit R to scale that out, something like that, and I'm going to hit I'm going to actually drag it down a bit to resize it. Hit W to move it down. That's about right. Okay. Now here below you can see that the beneath side is rounded like that. So we're going to fix that. We're going to go back to our perspective view like that. We're going to zoom in on the bottom edge here. Right click on that. Go to edge mode. Select one edge. Shift double click the next one, and now you've got the entire edge going around. Go to edit mesh and hit bevel. Now it looks a bit weird, so we need to play with the settings here. I'm going to go back to my front view like that, and now I'm going to increase the segments to, let's say, about 8, and I'm going to pull down my offset to get that in line with my reference image. And as you can see, while I pull that down, it moves into the right shape. And I'm okay with that. All right. So we got that part. Now, next is back to our perspective view. There you go. We're going to work on the top half here, on the head, so to speak. We're going to do that by creating a polygon sphere. So I'm going to pull that out in the grid. And again, there I'm going to increase the subdivisions. So go to your Polysphere 1 in the attribute editor. I'm going to increase that to 60 by 60, something like that. I'm going to go back to my front view, and we're going to start to move that in place. So hit W to pull it up, something like that. Now we're going to hit R to scale it. And we're going to start to get that in shape. Hit R again. And we're getting pretty close. Okay, that looks about okay, right? And now we're going to right click on that, go to face mode, and we're going to drag select the part that we don't want. Hopefully I got everything. Let's see. Hit delete. And yes, I got it right. All right, good. Quick check from the top view to make sure that the head is exactly centered on top of the body. And as you can see, it is not. So we're going to select that part, and we're going to do the translation values to 0. So it's nice and centralized, like that. And we're going to do the same here. Okay, so now it's all centralized. Okay, let's see if it's in the right height. So I need to pull that up a bit. Something like that. And we'll just check our reference image to see if we are doing okay. Gonna select my body part, pull that down. So that's about okay. And we got the head, and we're gonna pull that down, and that is okay. Right. Okay, so now we've got that. Now we're gonna move on towards the arms. Okay, now for the arms, I want to create a polygon cylinder. Pull that out, pull that up. Again, we're going to increase subdivisions to 60. And what's really important here is select round cap. Okay, now it's not round yet, as you can see, and that's because we need to play with these settings here. By increasing the subdivision caps, you can see it's starting to get nice and round. All right, so we've got that set up. Now we're going to move it into place. So back to our front view. We're going to pull that down, pull that in a bit. We're going to hit R to scale that. Scale it out a little bit like that. And pull this one to stretch it a little. Hit W to move it down. And it looks all right. So we've got that one. Hit Control D to duplicate it. Move it over. We got that one. Good. And let's check it from our side view to make sure that they're in the right position. Oops. There we go. Side view. Okay. Now this is our reference image back here. So these arms need to move over. So I'm going to drag select both of them. And I'm going to move them over until they're in the middle. That looks about right. Okay. So got that. Now we're going to go back to our perspective view, and we're going to create the legs. Now for that, we simply select one of the arms, hit Control D to duplicate that, pull that down, pull that in, go back to our front view, and we're going to get that into position. And as you can see, there's very little for me to change there. Hit Control D to duplicate the other leg. There we go. Quickly go to our side view. They're in the middle, so we're good. And we can move on. Now you got these little antennas on his head, and again we're going to use the same shape for that. So select the leg, hit Control D, pull that way up, go back to our front view. Okay, hit R to scale that down quite a bit, W to move it up and move it over. We're going to hit E to rotate it a little bit, something like that. Hit R to scale it out. That should be about right. And hit W and just move that back in a little bit so it's inside the head. Okay. Now we need two of those, so we're going to hit Control D. We're going to move that over. Hit E to rotate it the other way around. Hit W, pull it in just a little bit. And now check our side view to see if they are in the middle. And as you can see, they are. All right. Okay, now one thing I still need to do, I'm going to go back to my perspective view, is when I took a part of that head off, as you can see, this here is a closed surface on top. This, however, is open. So we need to close that up. How do we do that? We're going to right click on that, go to Edge, click on the first one, Shift double click, so we got that entire edge selected, and then we're going to go to Mesh, and we're going to click on Fill Hole. And now it's closed. All right, let's get back to our green guy. Okay, what's left? The eyes. Okay, for that we're going to create a couple of spheres. So just click on that, make a little ball like so, hit F to zoom in. And again, I'm going to increase the subdivisions to 60. Like that. Okay. Gonna go to our front view. Gonna grab that little eye, pull it up, hit W to move that, pull it up. It's roughly in position. Hit F to zoom in, R to scale down, and it's something like that. W to move it over a little bit. Okay, so we got that one. We need to duplicate that, so Control D to duplicate and move it over. And now let's see if they are in position or not. So back to our perspective view. Okay, so we need to select one, shift select the other, and we need to start to move that in until the eyes are inside the head. And as you can see right now, they are. Okay. Okay, so now we can get rid of this reference image. Drag select it, hit delete. I'm going to combine mesh on this guy, so drag select the entire thing, go to mesh and combine, and now I can just pull it up and create a ground plane for this guy. So polygons, ground plane. I'm going to drag that out, and I'm going to hit R, and I'm going to make that ground plane nice and big because I don't want to see any edges when I'm rendering this. We're going to quickly go to our let's see, to our side view, so we can pull this guy down so he's standing on the floor like that. Okay, and now we're going to apply some colors. First of all, as you know, this guy is green, so we're going to right click on him, assign new material. I'm going to go with the Fong E, and we're going to change that color to the typical green that we know and love, I would almost say. Okay, pull it down just a little. So we got that. Now the eyes are white, so I have to select this guy. I have to separate the mesh, otherwise I can't do that. So mesh and separate. Select one eye, shift select the other one. Right click, assign new material. Same Fong E. And I'm going to change that color to white, like so. And for the ground plane, right click on that, assign the material, again Fong E, and I want to make that black. Okay, now the only thing we need to do now is set up some lighting and do the render, so that's next. So we're going to go to Create, click on Lights, Point Light. We're going to pull that up, and from our top view we're going to position a few lights. So I got one that I want to have in front of him. Hit Control D. I want one from roughly this angle, and select that one and hit Control D again. I want one from this angle but in a bit lower position. So we're going to go to our front view. Where are we at? Here, okay. Okay, so that one I'm going to pull down to about here. That one is going to go way down to about there. And that one, I'll just put it over here somewhere. Okay. I'm going to select all three of my lights. I'm going to go to my point light shape tab in my attribute editor, scroll down a little bit, click on shadows, and use depth map shadows. So we got that. Now we are ready to render. Okay, so choose a nice angle that you want to use for your render. Something like that. And as you can see, I need to increase the size of my ground plane because I don't like that edge. So I'm just going to crank that up quite a bit. That should be about right. Okay. Okay, render settings. Click on render settings. Now, we didn't use any mental ray materials in this setup, so we don't need to use mental ray. You can use my software, but I prefer mental ray. So I'm just going to click on that. Go to mental ray. On my quality tab, I'm going to increase that to about 1.25. And if you have a previous version of Maya, you will have a different setting here, and you can use production quality. I'm going to go to my common tab. I'm going to change the size of my image to, where is it? HD 1080, like so. And now we're ready to render. Now, rendering usually takes a while, so during the render process, I'm quickly going to hit pause, and as soon as it's finished, I'll be back with you guys. So here we go. All right, guys, there we go. This is our final render, and this is our green little Android guy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope it was helpful. As always, likes and subscriptions are really, really appreciated. If you guys got any suggestions for tutorials, let me know. Thanks again, and see you guys next time. Bye.